Hello everyone, it's Claude Jones here from Do It With AI, and I am going to take a dive into MindStudio Architect version 2. Now what this is, it allows you to use natural language to create workflows. So you put in a prompt and it magically creates a workflow for you. So I heard about this and I thought I'm going to give it a little, I'm going to give it a shot to see what this thing can actually do. Now, the use case here is Ben, one of our boot campers, had put a post in Slack that said that he would like to create an AI agent that quickly understands and organizes new data by automatically adding clear descriptions and tags to the data catalog. So I said, this will be cool to see. But I did not know where to start from a prompt or even what to do. You know, I am not a data guru like Ben. So I went through and I used ChatGPT to craft a prompt. So I just said, I have a friend who's building an AI agent. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I will save this so that it's there for you all to kind of look at it in more detail if you'd like. But essentially, I crafted a prompt. Now, this is based on the Create Prompt framework. So you're thinking, what is all these frameworks? Well, if you remember the, where is it at here? I'm just clicking around. If you remember the bootcamp guide, there's about 16 different types of frameworks that you can use to help create your prompt. So we're actually using the Create framework, and it kind of breaks things down here. So ChatGPT went through, and I put this in. I said, I would like you to leverage the Create framework, map that out. I said, you figure out the character. I said, the request here is that I want to create a MindStudio ready prompt that can be used to create an AI agent workflow to accomplish the requested task, which was based up in the above. I asked it to define examples. I didn't want to have to do that. I told it to make sure that the inputs outputs have the right error handling and the right human in the loop sort of checks in place. It needs to be something that can be used by MindStudio. And then there was some extra stuff in here. You all can read that. So from this prompt that I put in, and actually let's just do this now. You get a chance to see what this will actually do. I already ran this, but we can just kind of see things real time. I think it's always fun to see what happens real time, right? So put this prompt in just like this. Remove that. Bida boom, bida boom. All right, so this thing is going off, creating it. So it's talking about what it's designing, what's actually going on, generate human-friendly. If you were to use this yourself, you can kind of see what's going on, but it's doing its thing. It's coming with the examples, everything. So the whole point here is that I didn't know where to start as far as creating a prompt based on that particular thing. And I just used ChatGPT to create the prompt for me. So I didn't really have to worry about anything. So it mapped all this stuff out. As you can see here, known limitations, integration options, and then it's actually creating the prompt that can be used with at MindStudio here. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that it wants to do. Okay, so that's the prompt that was created. Let me go back here. So once that created its prompt, and this was the version of the prompt that I just showed you through ChatGPT, but this is sort of what it had created for me in that initial run. So then I was able to take this prompt and then put that into MindStudio. So let me go in here and just see. We'll just copy this and we'll just put this into MindStudio real time. Now things might be a little different from what we did, but we'll just put this in and see what it does. We'll remove some of this stuff. This is real time. We'll see what breaks and what doesn't. All right, so it's going to go off and do its thing. Now, this might take some time here in interpreting and getting things going. So if it does take a bit of time, we'll kind of bounce over to what we had, or I'll speed this up when I do the other video. So let's see here. It said it was such a well-defined project. That's great. Thank you, AI. So it's giving some quick verifications on what needed to be done. So if I were to answer these things quickly, like users will paste, CSV and JSON directly. Human review loop for human loop. Would you prefer simple approval of the entire output ability to, let's just say simple approval rejection. Output destination. Beyond the results, what do we need to do? Let's just say nothing for right now because we're not going to try to connect to databases. We'll have that go off and do its thing. Now, while this is going off and doing its thing, I'm actually going to kind of bounce over. Oh, let's see what's happening here. So this thing will go off and think. So when I was doing this the first time when it was generating the draft spec, there was a nice little option that said, hey, as this was going, notify me once complete. So that was pretty cool. There's the little thing here. So, you can go off and in the background, you can go ahead and get stuff done. You can get an email. So I thought that was really, really helpful from that point of view. So while this thing is sort of going off, it looks like it's almost done. Let me just see, kind of see where this is going. Okay, great. So it goes through and it creates this agent proposal. And so this agent proposal, you can go through and modify this if you want to. But it gives you a breakdown of here's the bot that you have, what it's going to be doing, what's actually going on, the workflow steps that it's actually going to create. So, it's building that out there. And if it's something that, this isn't right or things are going on, this is helping you to accelerate, right? So you can come in and start editing this stuff as you need. It's talking about different variables. Now, for those that aren't super techie and you're like, oh my gosh, there's code in here. What the heck does this mean? Again, if you need to get to this level of detail, you have the tools to do it, right? You can see it. Or if you don't know, don't worry about it, right? You could just take a glance at it, see sort of what's going on. And then if you're good to go, build. Now, I don't know how long this is going to, let's see how long this is going to take here. Okay, so that finished. So it had gone through, it wrote code, it generated test cases, all the stuff that it needed to be done. And so now we have our Clarity bot, which automatically generates human-friendly descriptions and tags for your structured data field. So now if we open agent, let's see what happens here. Okay, so check it, look. It created this workflow. So now we have the Clarity bot, what it actually does. So it created all this stuff for you with example output and things that are going on. It went through. Now, granted, I still need to go through the training with you all, so I'm going to be doing this well. So I'm not going to do justice explaining all the wonderful things that MindStudio has to offer. But what I will tell you, it's generated this workflow for us here. So, we have the start of the process, capturing the input for the user. So it looks like there's the raw data and then some enable human review steps here. There's detect format, analyze the data. It looks like there's just check review setting. See what that is, user selected. We'll get through some of these things in the training on how these things are set up and how you use it. Looks like there's another human review, but a human review step, rejection message, and what is this, display results. So, it created a workflow without having to do too much of anything other than a prompt. So at this point in time, everything's been doing it with AI, from that point. So let's see what's going on. So let's open the agent. So let me see if I have some data. So we're doing this live, so we'll see what actually happens here and what's going on. But let's just pull a data sample from something here and see what breaks and what doesn't break to do some troubleshooting here. So enable human review. Let's do no first because I just want to see kind of what's going on. So it's going through. There's no error so far, and it looks like it's crunching through the actual data that we provided. Checking review settings. So here's the documentation for your data fields. What is this here? So it produced it in JSON, it looks like. So total fields, flag, success. No ambiguous fields are identified in the data set. So it looks like this was pretty good. When I did this the first time, I had issues. Like there were some issues with some of the code and things that were going on. And so, this did a pretty good job. So let's try something with bad data here. So I have like a bad, dirty data set. And let's just do one of these. Let's see if this accounts for this format here. Let's see what happens, huh? All right, so let's not do human review loop here. Okay, so now we got an error. So now when I ran into this particular piece, I actually would copy this, go into ChatGPT and kind of work through code. Now, we'll probably get through some of the debugging capabilities that Dimitri and team will sort of walk us through to kind of help with this. But I took another brute force way to deal with this. But the code that's referring to is this code here that was auto-generated, right? And so what I ended up doing was going into, ChatGPT, pasting in the error message, figuring out what's going on. So it'd be good to kind of get some help from Dimitri and crew on that. Now, I will say, just before we wrap up, let me go here. I did create another bot. This was the data lore bot that I've mentioned. So this was the original one that I created, and it created a completely different type of workflow for this. But in this particular case, let's open up this agent. Same thing, but here was JSON markdown table format. So let's take that same, do I still have the same prompt? Yeah, still have the same data. And this is where I had gone through and was changing a bunch of code, but let's see what this does, right? This one has some errors, I believe, in it. So going through the same process, cranking away. And here, it's putting in a instead of a JSON format, it's using a markdown format. And here it's saying, here's a field, high confidence in that data, no review required. And then they've listed some fields here and yes, what's going on. Now, granted, there's more work that could be done to help polish this up, make it more extensive. But the point is that I did not have to do anything. I literally used AI to help craft something. So if there was some time that was spent on mapping out like what the workflow is, what the inputs and outputs are, and how do we stitch things together, what do we need to do it, it would be in a more advanced system, right? That we would spend some time, but just to bootstrap and get something going, pretty damn cool. So sweet. Well, I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. And remember, just do it with AI.